Hey, Gavan and friends, welcome to the Lord of the Rungs podcast, the only Tolkien podcast the professor himself would dismiss as juvenile and crass. My name's Dan Zerby. I'm here with my good friend and co-host Sean Kelly, and together we'll be discussing the writings, adaptation, news, games, and anything else regarding J.R.R. Tolkien's Legendarium in a way that he would not approve of. This is our last regular episode of the season, isn't it, Sean?
Yeah, it may or may not be our last of the season, but you'll just have to keep an eye out.
Yeah, you're just going to have to keep an eye on that.
Keep those ears peeled.
Podcast feed or whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that would be it.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm glad I got it right then.
Nailed it.
Yeah, part 2 of our exploration of the Silmarils.
It's the sort of Silmaril experience, if you will.
Yeah, that's right. It's
yeah. I mean, so before we get into all the Silmaril shenanigans,
the Silmarils? No, that's stupid. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I said that out loud.
It's okay. Well, we definitely won't get it in post.
Yep.
Speaking of things that we should never have said.
Yeah.
I gotta don my dunce cap here.
Yeah. And you gotta crawl to correction corner.
Yeah, it's really hard to keep it. It's a tall dunce cap, and I gotta keep it upright the whole way, or else my penitence will be doubled.
That's right.
Yeah,
son of a bitch.
I made some claims. Last episode, and
you sure did.
Yeah, I thought something along the lines of Tolkien, demanding there be ring pops to represent the rings of power.
That's right. That's what you said.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure where I got that from. I was definitely conflating some stuff.
Did you happen to have low blood sugar at the time?
I think that's it. It was it was like in Paul Blart when that made up thing where he's like hypoglycemic or whatever, so he passes out if he doesn't get some blood sugar. I was just fantasizing about ring pops, and I mean, to be fair,
I've lived that life, so I get it.
So they're like, they just look powerful.
So, I mean, they do. They are powerful.
Me.
Yeah, they can spike your insulin. That's their superpower.
Yeah, I don't think they quite have the power to, preserve an entire civilization in time.
Yeah, I mean, probably not. I mean, I've never tried to use one for that purpose, but I don't imagine it would be very successful.
Yeah, there might be one. Like a sweepstakes sort of situation.
Yeah, right.
Just mix in with it, like a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You get an elven ring of power, but as far as we could tell, I'm pretty sure Tolkien would either think that ring pops were gaudy or just a fun little accessory to delight the young people.
Indeed.
So with that out of the way,
that bit of ugliness out of the way, now we can get into the good shit.
Yeah.
So last time on the Lord of the Rungs podcast, we gave y'all the introduction to the story of the Silmarils, the first part, if you will.
It's a long and circuitous tale, but that's why there's a whole long, complicated book written about it.
That's true, and why we needed to do a 2-parter on just the jewelry itself.
Yeah, not to mention all of the other adjacent stories.
I mean, well, yeah, I was going to say, is like we are blowing through some of the story of the Silmarils because, like you just said, Sean, it's there's a whole book about it. So there's a lot that happens, and we can't go into every single little thing in one episode or even 2 episodes. So,
but why don't we just get into every single little detail about what happens to the 3 Silmarils, or at least some detail.
I was going to say we'll do some overarching detail.
Yeah, we could summarize.
Anyway, so when we left off talking about how what the War of the Jewels was, which was the Fëanor and his sons leading the Noldor to war against Morgoth to reclaim the Silmarils and failing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the oath that they took to reclaim those Silmarils is even more important in the latter half of things.
Yeah, that's where it ends up really being a pain in the butt. That old oath.
They also they made this really hardcore oath that ended up being basically the doom of their entire family. But
yeah, it was basically we're going to get the Silmarils back by any means necessary. We don't care who we have to fight or kill. We'll get them back.
But after they lost the War of the Jewels, they kind of just they were like, you know what, it's fine. You just hang on to them for a bit.
They took a break. Yeah,
I did a break. It seems like the oath doesn't really leave room for a break, but they were just like, you know what, we'll just chill for a couple hundred years and just see how this thing plays out.
Yeah, exactly. So, so we left off there. So, we left off at the War of the Jewels basically being lost by Fëanor and his sons and the Noldor.
So the three Silmarils are sitting in Morgoth's crown on his iron throne in the north, and he's just enjoying the sweet, sweet pain of them burning the top of his head.
Yeah. So, let's see.
I mean, should we just get into Beren and Luthien? I mean, that's...
Well, I was going to say, I think we should, but the thing is, Fëanor dies.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that last time.
Yeah, so we don't have to get too specific. We'll get, as we've said before, we're going to kick the Fëanor and his son's ring down the river a bit. But during the War of the Jewels, Fëanor dies. Spoiler alert.
Kind of early, the quote unquote War of the Jewels did not last very long.
Yeah, no, it effectively ends when Fëanor dies and his sons are like, we would love to take a break from this whole oath thing. So
yeah, I mean, basically he just sort of charges the gate of Angband to try to get the Silmarils back, and then
he challenges Morgoth to a fight, and Morgoth's like, fuck off, I'm not doing that with you.
You need to earn that. And so he sends his buddies to take care of the mess.
He sure does. So what ends up happening is Fëanor ends up getting into it with Gothmog, Lord of Balrogs, the boss of the Balrogs. Yeah.
And the namesake of that one really weird looking orc in the movies.
The Harvey Weinstein looking orc is
oh yeah.
That, by the way, that toasted marshmallow of an orc that's named Gothmog in the movies, the makeup was designed to make him look like Harvey Weinstein because Peter Jackson hated the Weinstein brothers so much because they were giving him so much shit about these movies.
Wow. I mean, yeah, who knew how well that would end up aging?
I mean, right? Seriously. And you'll also notice at the end of the Return of the King, when it has Bob and Harvey Weinstein's names, there are two giant trolls next to them. That was also very intentional. Just some fun facts about making
just
fun of
a little fun fact sidetrack. Yeah.
But anyway, Back to Fëanor and the Silmarils. So Fëanor dies at the hands of Gothmog. Gothmog kills him. And with Fëanor's dying breath, he, like an asshole, tells his sons. So at this point, he could release his sons from the oath. He's dying. He's like,
if I'm not getting this back, then I guess you guys don't have to.
You guys can just live your lives.
Either.
But no.
Naturally,
Fëanor, as we've said multiple times, is an asshole, and he holds his sons to the oath, is telling them that you need to keep your oath and avenge me. Like basically guaranteeing their fate is as miserable as his is.
Clearly, his second most valuable possession beyond the Silmarils was his world's best dad mug.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, guys, this is what happens when you value material objects over, your family and shit. You get killed by a Balrog. So
yeah, it doesn't end well.
Yeah,
certainly
it really
in
doesn't.
Tolkien's universe. Yeah,
no, certainly not.
Yeah. So they end up just being like, yeah, all right, we will, but we're not gonna charge face first into the gates of hell, basically, to go get these Silmarils like you did.
Yeah.
So we'll just
because that didn't work out so well. So we'll get to it.
We're just gonna chill and just see how this plays out.
Yeah. So Feanor dies. His sons effectively retreat for a little while. And then what happens to the Silmarils? Well, Morgoth holds on to him for a little while until one day.
Little while, a couple hundred years, right?
Yeah, probably. It's kind of hard to say how long exactly these
Also, like a little while
in
these
between chapters is,
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Not always, but sometimes it's hard to tell.
Yeah, because
probably a couple hundred years.
Turin and then Baron and everybody would have been generations later after the siege of Angband. But anyway.
Yeah. But so that's when we get into Baron and Luthien. Another ring that must be kicked down the river, detail-wise at least.
Yeah. But I mean,
for our purposes today, and also spoilers for Baron and Luthien.
Yeah, it's honestly probably one of my favorite stories from it's one of the most well-formed stories of the Silmarillion, like standalone. So if you were looking to get into the Silmarillion, getting those like the individual books that were published more recently is not a bad way to start getting into it.
Definitely. I will say, I think reading some of the books that expand on the stories of the Silmarillion can actually, in a certain way, be a little easier because you can really get into the nitty gritty and the different versions of it. But then also it gets confusing that way too when you're like, wait, which version was in the Silmarillion?
It is strange because you read that book and it's like 4 different versions of the story, and one of them is the Lay of Lathian. And it's an epic poem that he got like 3/4 of the way through, and it is so tragic that he never finished it because it is. I know it's good.
Beautiful. It's not like a nice, relaxing, super easy, fun read, but it is worth it. I think
you get into the rhythm of it, and it's
once you get into the rhythm, it's like reading. It's similar to like reading Shakespeare or like a translation of Beowulf or something like that, where it's like you just kind of have to, or even in a certain different way, Clockwork Orange, where it's like you just keep reading, and the context as you just read it,
washes over.
It becomes
you.
easier. It becomes easier the more you actually end up reading it.
Yeah.
It can be challenging.
do you want to do a quick summary of Baron and Luthien, or do you want me to?
I mean, mine was literally like 2 sentences.
Oh, let's hear it.
All right. Let's see. I actually kind of get it in one sentence. One Silmaril is recovered from Morgoth by Baron and Luthien as a bride price for Luthien's father, Thingol.
That is a good way to sum it up.
That's the whole thing.
There's so clearly so much more to that story.
There's so much more amazing parts to that story. But that is
more or less how it goes down.
It's like that's the basic story. Yeah.
Yeah. Luthien's father demands a Silmaril from Baron as his
Baron. By the way, if you don't know, Baron was a man. Luthien was an elf maiden. And Luthien was the most beautiful elf ever.
Tolkien sort of viewed his relationship with his wife Edith as Beren and Luthien's love.
On their gravestones, it says Beren. On Tolkien's grave and on his wife's grave, it says Luthien. It's very cute.
Yeah, it's very sweet.
Really
Anyway,
it's very, very sweet. But anyway, we're not talking about just Beren and the Luthien today.
Not sweet stuff. It's all bits and serious stuff.
Yeah. So I guess so long story short, Beren and Luthien do recover a Silmaril, give it to Thingol, and everyone lives happily ever after. No, that's not what happens. So not quite. So now I guess is when we should mention the Nauglamir briefly.
Yeah. So basically,
Nauglamir, also known as the Necklace of the Dwarves.
There's this other guy, Galadriel's brother, who you saw in the shows, and the dwarves. He got along really well with everybody.
Everybody loved Finrod Felagund. Was just the shit. Everyone loves Finrod Felagund.
He's got to be one of the top elves of the first age in most people's list. But
he's just a good dude. He's just a really, really good dude.
Yeah, solid guy. Because of that, the dwarves made a necklace for him as a gift. Yeah, and
he brought some gems back from Valinor to Middle Earth, and he had the dwarves make him a necklace. Or I guess did they make it for him, or did he ask them?
I think he gifted the jewels to the dwarves, and then they made it for him, something like that.
Yeah, I think
the detail is not really important right now, but
it's really not because
Finrod is another ring we're gonna have to kick down the river.
I know, God, he's so great
character. But
also has a very important role in the story of Beren and Luthien.
Yes, but we don't even have to get into that.
Again, anyway,
basically, a dragon takes over Finrod's home and is hanging on to the jewels. Dragon's gone after a while.
Another ring to kick down the river. Glaurung the dragon.
This guy who's
huge
related. Not cool.
Not a cool dude.
Uncool lizard for sure.
Yeah. Slimy worm.
Húrin is related to Beren, right? He's like an uncle.
Yes.
That.
Húrin, I think, is
because Morwen's son is. I don't know. Basically, Húrin is another character that we will also have to get to later, but he brings the necklace back to Thingol, who is Luthien's father who's the one who ended up with the Silmaril. And Thingol ended up having the Silmaril mounted on this. It's like the most beautiful gemstone being put in the most beautiful necklace ever made. And so it's pretty valuable. The dwarves are basically like, so when in cartoons, like they get the dwarves got those money symbols on their eyes, like cha-ching, cha-ching. And then they were like, all right, what's the most convoluted way we can claim that this belongs to us?
Yeah.
And they were like, we made it, so it's ours by dwarven right. And then Thingol's like,
we made it so pretty that no one else should get it because we're so great at making shit.
And then Thingol's like, what are you talking about? And they're like, we're just going to take it. So they kill him. Take the necklace.
They shank his ass.
Yeah. He gets Caesared. The dwarves basically run away, and they like kill elves on the way out or something, and then the elves, along with Beren and a few other big names, end up ambushing the army on their way back to the dwarven stronghold and kill them to the last dwarf.
They kill all the dwarves pretty brutally. The dwarves in the first age are There's a lot of dickish dwarves. A lot of these
there are some
dwarves are
honorable
not,
ones.
Yeah, right. So we learn in The Hobbit that this is even mentioned in The Hobbit, the Nauglamir, without being specifically named. Yeah. So the dwarves that stole the necklace back with the Silmaril, they are not related to the Longbeards, which is like the heir of
Gimli
Thorn, Oakenshield, and Gimli,
just
and
every dwarf we see, effectively.
yeah, basically, yeah. So it's a different dwarf family, essentially. But yeah, some of them are real jerks.
Yeah, and that basically kicked off the strife between dwarves and elves that lasted for ever, effectively.
Yeah, until Gimli and Legolas become besties. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like dwarves and elves don't work together again. They do when they're making the.
Yeah. There's always tension. Yeah.
Yeah. Their relationship is never the same after this because it's like this huge betrayal, and obviously, elves remember they hold grudge as well because those same people are still kicking around.
Yeah. Yep. Indeed.
And then basically that they recover the Nauglamir with the Silmaril, and a lot of fancy names for jewelry in this one.
Yeah, there really are. Nauglamir is kind of fun to say too.
Yeah, it comes off the tongue in a nice way, but they Luthien ends up they end up like giving it to her, and she ends up wearing it, and then giving it to their daughter, who ends up do you want to take this over?
Yeah,
this requires more summary.
Yeah. So that particular Silmaril gets passed to Baron Luthien's daughter Elwing, who marries a name you might recognize, Eärendil.
The Mariner, yes.
Eärendil the Mariner, yes, indeed. Yeah, so Eärendil is a man who marries an elf. Yeah.
Another A1 fella.
Yeah, Eärendil is kind of the
Baron and Eärendil are like the best examples that the race of men has ever had to offer, effectively.
Yeah, Eärendil is the dude. He's also the father of Elrond and Elros.
Yeah, fun fact for you.
Yeah,
which once you know that, there are a few times when you're like that puts a lot of stuff into context in the later.
Yeah, it really does.
Later works, and once again, this is another ring we're gonna have to kick down to the river into all the way into next season.
Yeah, definitely. But to keep it short, Eärendil takes this Silmaril because at this point, Morgoth's he's just kicking the shit out of everybody. He's virtually unstoppable.
Yeah, he's basically
the Free Peoples are unable to deal with him.
He's close to winning.
Yeah, I mean, he's close to just taking over all of Middle Earth. I mean, he's just kicking the shit out of everybody. So what happens is Eärendil takes the Silmaril and sails with it to Valinor as an offering to the Valar, as a token of repentance, and to just beg them, please join the fight against Morgoth. We are going, we can't win without your help.
Which is also a huge deal because he's immortal, and
they are
never
not
supposed to go there.
Valinor. Yeah, it's only because he's basically it's a suicide mission. Basically, he's not allowed to return to Middle Earth. He knows he's leaving his entire world behind.
Yeah.
But he's willing to do this just as a last gasp, just desperate plea to get some help to fight Morgoth because he's just too powerful for the Free Peoples to take on their own. It works.
It works. We really have to cut out so much there, but he wins. He ends
the War of Wrath.
Basically. Which is like the Valar come and
kick down the river. Really, the whole story. But the Valar are like, okay, fine, we'll help.
Clean up shop. and
Yeah.
Eärendil ends up being given the fate to patrol basically patrol the heavens to make sure that Morgoth can't come back.
Yeah.
And like keep an eye out.
In the War of Wrath, spoilers, Morgoth is defeated.
He can't be killed.
Yeah, correct. I mean, yeah, he's an immortal being. He helped sing the universe into existence.
So they kind of just stick him out in the dark where he has to sit with a bunch of Lincoln logs and just kick his feet until Ragnarok, effectively.
Yeah, basically. So it's the War of Wrath happens. It's like a 40-year war / battle. Actually, it's just happening the entire time.
Yeah,
and it's so violent
to the entire face of the earth.
Yeah, it's so violent. It's so intense that it crumbles Beleriand into the sea. It's this entire landmass attached to Middle Earth that just goes away.
Yeah.
Morgoth's defeated. And the 2 remaining Silmarils are taken from him by Eonwë, who is a Maya in the service of Manwë. So he's Manwë's herald. He's actually one of the most powerful Maya. He's not a Valar, but he is as powerful as some of the Valar because he's just, he's Manwë's herald. So, but again,
he's the one who's like martially the most powerful in Middle Earth, right?
Yes. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
If he just 1v1, it would be like him and Tulkas, or that would be like the fight of of all time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's like
that would be a cage match that every single person would want to watch.
Yeah, that's the fantasy match of like Ali in his prime against Tyson in his prime. It's like that's that fight. But anyway, so they take the Silmarils, and when the 2 remaining Silmarils are taken from Morgoth, there are only 2 surviving sons of Feanor. Remember those guys?
Yeah, they've been biding their time, not very effectively, because most of them have died.
Yeah, most of them have died. There's only 2 left, which works out because there's 2 Silmarils left.
And 2 sons ready to be adopted.
Yeah, so the 2 sons, Maedhros, Maedhros and Maglor.
Maedhros and Maglor, yeah.
Yeah. They never forget their, like we said, they took a little bit of a break, but they never forgot the oath because you kind of can't, because, it's an oath.
Yeah, you're an elf and it's an oath for the rest of your life. It's
like, that's an oath. You're held to it unless you're released. Yeah, the one person, as we said, who could release them from this oath was their piece of shit father. So they decide that they need to steal the Silmarils again. They need to steal them back. So they kill a guard, which presumably is either a Maya or an elf. They steal the Silmarils from the host of the Valar. The fucking stones on these guys. I mean, I know we're talking a lot about stones, but I mean, Jesus. But they didn't even really want to do this. They're weary of the entire thing. They didn't want to continue it, but they were just sort of
forced and compelled by the oath.
Yeah. And everyone sees them do this because I mean, like they're this is the train
of just openly
of victory going back to Valinor. Yeah, they're bringing these 2 Silmarils back, and then Maedhros and Maglor just kill somebody and steal them, and everybody sees it. But they're allowed to escape due to a phrase I invented called blood exhaustion. It's basically everybody was so tired from the War of Wrath that they're like, I can't bring myself to kill any more fucking people. Let's just let them go for now. Let's just get back to Valinor. This place sucks. Middle Earth is a shithole.
There's definitely I like blood exhaustion because it's like, what is that even? It's like they're just exhausted from
blood.
How much blood? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's gonna be the name of my next record, my next metal album.
Is blood exhaustion.
Blood exhaustion.
Definitely a metal title for sure.
It sure is.
So one thing I did want to interject with real quick.
Please.
Was a Mad Men of the West.
Ooh, the segment a bit.
Yeah, it's this one's a little late, but while we're on the topic of, it reminded me because we talked about the Naglamir earlier, but
we did.
We were talking about stealing things again.
Yep, just in general, not even related to the podcast. It was outside. John and I were talking.
No, we were planning our next heist, and then
you really just let me sit with that, didn't you?
Yeah, I was like, wait, were we actually? It's like, oh no, it's a bit. Okay, yeah. So it looks like we're gonna have to contact the law offices of Duden, and Fro. Jewelry-related accident? We'll pursue your claim to the ends of the earth and exact compensation from the long-eared, short-lived, and green-skinned alike. Yeah, I just don't think there's enough legal representation.
Yeah,
that's
you're right.
Like mentioned in Lord of the Rings. So I mean, like,
Yeah, I mean, the first stage was very litigious.
Yeah, I mean, there are many instances where, like, I mean, what if there was a good lawyer team? I mean, you're telling me that they couldn't have just sued the pants off of Morgoth and just gotten him to relinquish the Silmarils?
Yeah, I mean, or just like, oh, Morgoth, you stop messing around. Let's just send a cease and desist letter.
I'm sure this will take care of it.
You're right. Yeah, that'll cover it.
Yeah, there's way too much extra legal. It's like vigilantism going on in the first stage. I think we need to go through the proper channels, and maybe this whole thing will be resolved properly.
Now I'm imagining like a Judge Judy type show, except it's Mandos instead of Judge Judy. It's just the halls of Mandos.
Yeah, that
it's like, don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining Feanor.
That actually would be a pretty
kind of great idea.
Goofy spin-off. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
Just
we got two Mad Men of the West for one, everybody.
Like the Free People's Court.
Oh shit, there it is. Yeah, the Free People's Court.
Except
the free peoples of Middle-earth are angry at Morgoth for what he's done.
Yeah, it feels a little disingenuous to say it's the Free People's Court and then try to put people in jail afterwards.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
Morgoth's he's earned it.
He deserves it, certainly. Yeah, that's one episode that would definitely not. There wouldn't be anybody sympathizing. Well,
I mean,
yeah, there definitely would.
Yeah, no, there's always some jackass on Reddit who's dummy on Reddit who's like, Morgoth did nothing wrong, Feanor did nothing wrong. Anyway, great Mad Men of the West segment.
Yeah, thanks.
That was good. That was great. I definitely heard the whole thing. There were no technical problems whatsoever.
All right, back to the Silmarils here. So they stole the two Silmarils back, the two sons of Feanor.
Did. Yeah, Maedhros and Maglor.
What did they end up doing with them?
Well, the first thing they did is burn the absolute shit out of their hands because of their deeds. And all the terrible shit that they did, they are unclean.
Yeah, so, if you remember the checklist of what's going to be burned by a Silmaril, mortals, the evil and unclean. Unclean's right on there.
Yeah, when they were hollowed by Varda, Queen of Arda. Great rhyme.
Wow, I have never thought of that rhyme.
Arda, Queen of Arda, she hallowed them. Motherfucking Silmarils. And Maedhros and Maglor, when they steal the Silmarils, it burns their hands, causing them great pain because they were just not great guys. Or if they were great guys, they did really bad things. So,
I think they're nice guys. Like it's like I'm such a good guy. Why don't I deserve a Silmaril? You know,
Yeah,
the
they're kind
Silmarils
of
always
like
pass over me, and then they go to these big jerks like Morgoth. Why can't I ever get my
they're
share piece of
basically
the pie?
so they're basically incels, but instead of sex, it's just ownership of a Silmaril.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, that's
So
what I
God,
think. I think Nice Guys was like the original
right?
sort of.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah.
a slightly different thing, but it's the
Before
original
incels had a name
incel thing. Yeah,
describing their douchiness. Yeah,
there.
yeah. Well, we are
And
approaching the end of the story of the Silmarils here because two brothers who have these remaining Silmarils, yeah, they're in quite a bit of pain.
yeah, they're not enjoying their
No, they've
sweet
victory question mark.
reunion
Yeah,
with these Silmarils.
yeah, they're really not enjoying them. They're it's excruciating for them to hold and have these basically.
And they can't
So
get rid of them really because
you
you
can
know,
give
they're
them
bound
away.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah, they can't. It's not like they can be like, okay, Valar, we're sorry. Here, you can have them back.
Yeah.
So they kind of do a like, well, if we can't have them, no one's gonna have them.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's also
Yeah.
like sort of well, you just tell them what happens and
Yeah.
it'll-
So Maedhros throws the Silmaril and himself into a fiery pit.
Yeah, I was wondering
Yeah.
like is that
I'm
is it
assuming
a
a volcano. You'd
Yeah.
imagine, right? I don't.
Or are there just fiery pits around all of like is this just
Yeah.
a standard like you're sort of like sauntering through the forest and then there's
Well,
just
I'm
this like
imagining,
gaping
like-
fiery pit.
Well, I'm imagining like the destruction of Morgoth probably ripped, and the War of Wrath certainly ripped holes in the earth. So maybe it was
Yeah.
probably around there. It was probably around like the edge of Balerion.
It's
where
like
Balerion
those
used to be.
it's like those animations on like old Discovery Channel or whatever where
Yeah.
like the Earth's crust was forming
Yeah,
still
yeah.
and all the volcanoes are going and he's just like, well, you know, there's a pit of fire right there.
Yeah. It's like, you
Might
know
as
what?
well hurl myself into it.
Yeah, let's. So yeah, he casts himself and the Silmaril into the earth, into a fiery pit, while Maglor throws the other Silmaril into the ocean. He throws it into the sea, not throwing himself in like his brother did.
What does he end? Does he end up wandering the earth? Something like that.
Great question. I'm not sure. That was not in my research because that's kind of like part of the story of Fëanor and his sons, which we just kind of glossing over for the sake of being able to actually talk
just-
about the Silmarils.
Yeah, well, it's also like if we did a Fëanor episode, it would have to be a separate episode for his sons. I think.
Yeah,
because
the more we're talking about it, the more I think you're probably right on that. Yeah, it would be an
Yeah.
hour and a half in and going, shit, okay, we bit off way more than
Oh
we can chew.
yeah.
This.
Legend says that he still wanders the shores of the world, singing laments for his despair and regret.
Oh, there you go.
There
Yeah,
are
and quite a bit of regret he has.
yeah. They all
Survivor
I
of the
think
Fëanor family.
was it Maglor or Maedhros that was like kind of the nice one who kept trying to it's so hard to keep them all
one of
straight.
them is like, yeah, at least one of them is a little nicer than all the other ones, but I just
Yeah, so
I guess it would
Maglor did adopt
whoever's
he
Celebrimbor's
adopted
father.
Eärendil
Whoever-
and
yeah.
Elwings. They adopted Elrond and Elros, who were Eärendil's sons, and he was actually like kind of a good guy, but I think he just kept. It was like he was in like a toxic relationship with the Silmarils or whatever. Like he just kept going back to them.
That is
and-
exactly what the whole thing is with Fëanor, his sons, the Oath, and the Silmarils. Is that it's a toxic relationship.
There
it's not
are
good.
a few like sort of familial tragedies in the Silmarillion. You know, like a Greek sort of tragedy style, like.
Curufin was the cool one.
Oh, Curufin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Celebrimbor.
He ended up getting killed.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah, he sure does.
I think Maglor was also like he was generally not like he was
also
counseling more restraint and everything, and he was I mean, but once again, they were all just sort of they were almost like wraiths to the Silmarils.
Yeah, actions speak louder than words, right? So,
murdering a bunch of elves to like steal the Silmarils back. It's like
right for material gain.
Yeah.
Not so good.
But yeah, so I mean that's the fate of the Silmarils, and then one of them also ended up inside of a tree. And
stop it. That's a Rings of Power reference for you.
Yeah, that didn't happen unless trees grow out of fiery pits or something.
Yeah, or out of the ocean.
Yeah, there aren't very many options left for the Silmarils.
Yeah. I mean, we went into why that's goofy. It's so the last real thing to know about the story of the Silmarils is what will happen. It has not yet happened, but what will happen? Ooh. Yeah. So there they lie in the sea, the land, and in the sky, until it is said that the Dagor Dagorath, the end of the world, the three Silmarils will be.
Almost had it. Yeah, almost. I was getting into. I was like, "Whoa, he's weaving a tale right now."
Until I got something in my throat, and then
I got to unbuckle my seatbelt from my chair here.
Anyway,
the Dagorath,
the end of the world. It's
it's Ragnarok.
It's the Middle Earth Ragnarok, which is our Ragnarok, because Middle Earth and Midgard are pretty much the same thing. Middle Earth, the Old English translation from the Old English. So yeah, right. So yeah, after the end of the world, the three Silmarils will be recovered by the Valar. Feanor will be released from the halls of Mandos, and he will break the Silmarils, as he refused to do earlier.
He's going to crack them open like a couple of eggs, stir them up in a bowl, and then out comes a couple of trees.
Yeah, with their light, Yavanna will revive the two trees, and all of Arda will be in bliss forever.
Yeah, also knocking down the two trees. I don't know if we ever mentioned this before, but their light was blocked from Middle Earth by the Pelori, which were it was a huge mountain range at the on the east side of Valinor that just sort of like kept the heaven in. And
well said, yeah. Kept the heaven in, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's accurate. It's accurate.
So after the last battle, they're going to knock that down, and then everybody's going to be bathed in the silver and golden light of the two trees, and they're all going to live happily ever after evil's utterly defeated for the last time.
The end.
The end.
Yep.
All right, so I've got another. I have a game for you.
Ooh, a game. All right.
Yeah, it's a bit of a. I mean, it's a choo-choo adaptation station, sort of.
Chugga, 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 chugga.
What I mean, we could have a Tolkien quiz show called "Who Wants to Be a Silmarillionaire."
I like that very much. I like that very much.
Good. Do you want to play the first round?
Oh gosh, yes.
Just keep in mind,
golly, mister, I'd love to.
Well, gee, mister, why does that remind me so much of the in Hercules when the the animated Disney flick when the demons take the form of children to lure Hercules into Hydra, and they're like, "Oh, gee, mister." Sorry, it just had like a really... Okay, anyway.
It's been a good 20-25 years since I saw that. But yes, yeah, I know.
It's been at least a few weeks for me. All right, so it's been a long time since I've...
take. That almost made me do a spit take. And ruin my microphone.
So It's been a while since I've watched Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, so I don't remember how it works, and I didn't feel like coming up with multiple choice because I felt like it was too easy, and also you'll see why in a minute. So,
Yeah. Okay.
all right, are you ready to play? Do you
Yes.
want to be a Silmarillionaire?
Sure, why not? I mean,
All right.
well, actually, if that means I win a Silmaril, it means the
No,
Sons of
I
Fëanor
will-
are going to come
I
after my ass.
will-
So I don't know if I do, actually.
No,
I'll play the game.
I will give you the money that you win in this, and then, but if you get the question wrong, then you get nothing.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
That's how game shows usually work. So.
yeah. No, like I will actually give you the money. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So, who wants to be a Silmarillionaire? Question 1: for $1, who created the Silmarils?
That would be Fëanor.
Ding, ding, ding.
Oh,
Yeah, I need a. I don't have a bell. Why would I have like a bellhop bell?
Yeah, I mean, why would you? Yeah, I mean,
because I should.
I mean, by now, I guess. But
yeah,
you know.
all right. Well, I'll think of it for the props. For the props that would generate really bad audio, like your slide whistle.
Hey, watch out for season 2, motherfuckers. We're gonna have all the sound effects.
I'll have a gavel too, even though that's not really a bit anymore.
Yeah, we changed the name so it doesn't work as well, but we're gonna stick to it.
All right, for $4.
Woo! All right, it's getting harder then.
This was a bit of a trick question. Who desires the Silmarils?
Everybody.
Ah, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
You did it.
I mean, literally everybody, though. It's true.
Everybody.
Literally everybody wants them.
I don't think anybody doesn't want them, unless Tom Bombadil took a look or something.
Right. Well, that is what Van Halen wrote. Everybody Wants Some was written about the Silmarils. So that's a little fun fact for you guys.
Oh, okay. I think it was also Pour Some Sugar on Me was also about the Silmarils.
Also 100% true.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, for $17. Where do the 3 Silmarils now reside?
Well, one is in.
Yeah, you can do the summary.
As a star. One is in the depths of the earth, and the other one is in the depths of the ocean.
I'll accept that. Ding, ding, ding.
Yay!
Yeah, I said it was Earth, Sea, and Sky, Earth, Sea, and Heavens. Anything like that. All right.
Yeah.
All right. For $80.
Whoa!
What was the name of the war that ended the First Age?
It's the War of Wrath.
Ding, ding, ding. All right, you're not allowed. You're not allowed. You got to keep going.
Okay.
All right, for $250,000.
Oh wow!
Without referencing anything, name the 7 sons of Fëanor.
Oh shit! No, no, I am not going to be able to.
All right. See how many you can get. Okay. We already mentioned 2.
Maedhros and Maglor. I already forgot the one that I also just mentioned, the father of Celebrimbor, Curufin.
Yep. That's that's probably better than I could have done without having looked this up to come up with this already. I will give you a hint. There are 3 C's and 2 A's left. Well, you named one of the C's, but there are 2 C's
so
and 2
Maedhros,
A's left.
Maglor, Curufin, Celegorm.
Yes.
And I don't know.
No, that is.
I mean, I have them in front
over
of me.
50%.
I mean, I opened up, I googled it, but I didn't know the other ones off the top of my head.
Celegorm, Caranthir, Curufin, Amrod, and Amdas.
Yeah. Well, it's too bad I didn't win.
All right. Well, it's just for fun.
Couple grand for me.
Just a couple, just 250.
Disappointing, but
so just for fun, for $1 million, do Balrogs have wings?
They do not have wings. Or if they have wings, they're metaphorical.
No, you can't.
They don't have literal wings.
Sounds like you didn't see the movies. The Balrogs have wings.
Then how come two of them we know die from falling? Why would they not then fly?
They're vestigial, like penguins.
That's stupid.
Yeah,
Fucking
that was
stupid.
that was my fail-safe question in case you actually were able to guess the
You're just
the
gonna
Seven Sons.
Thanks for moving the football on me, Lucy.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to give you an actual $1 million, you fool.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I was never gonna win. Was
I would have given you 17 if you'd stopped there, but you got greedy, went for 80.
I mean, I didn't get greedy. You just asked me the question.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to give you a chance to actually take the $17. That's like
you're a homeowner now. You can't afford that shit.
Yeah, no, I'd have to get change from you or something. It would just be weird. Can you imagine
singles? I don't know how this is going to work otherwise.
Can you imagine that you win Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? It's like, oh man, we only have $1.5 million. Do you have a?
Yeah, it's like, do you have change? Can you make change?
Yeah, you won $100,000. I only have a $200,000 bill. Can you?
Yeah, can you make change with this?
Yeah. So anyway, that's the Silmarils.
Yeah, that's the story of the Silmarils. You're welcome.
Some really important rocks. Yeah,
they really are. Indeed.
Yeah. So I mean, was there anything else you wanted to touch on in this? I think
no.
I think we might. There might be one last special before the end of the year, and
I think we're gonna do it.
Yeah, as far as the season reflections and whatnot, I think we're gonna, we'll leave that sort of retrospective stuff to that episode, and just keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. But yeah, this is it. This is the end of our first season regular episode. Good job, Sean. I'm very proud of us. Actually,
yeah, we did it.
We put out more episodes than I ever thought we were going to for certainly one season. I didn't know how far we were going to make it with this, but it's been great.
Yeah, it helps if you just kind of have fun with it and don't look at the viewership numbers. So
yeah, that's right. I will say actually in terms of that, like I've made a lot of jokes, mostly off air, but probably a little bit on air about how there's not many people who listen to our podcast. But I just want to say to the people who do listen to this, whether we know you personally or not, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's really cool that anybody wants to listen to us talk about this shit. I mean, it really is so cool. That anybody would listen to it is awesome.
We just wanted an excuse to talk to each other about Tolkien stuff and nerd out and have fun. Yeah. And if anybody is listening and on board with that, then we appreciate you.
Yeah. Seriously, thanks so much, guys.
Yeah. On that note, do you want to give us a fun fact about Tolkien?
I do. Well, today is actually, this episode is going to be released later today because we just kind of fell behind.
Yeah, we got other stuff going on.
Yeah. Well, it's a very busy time of year. Today is the 21st of December, which is happy winter solstice, everyone. And since we're very close to Christmas, I thought I'd have a Christmas related Tolkien fun fact. So Tolkien's favorite Christmas song was actually, believe it or not, Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo by Rick Derringer. It's a weird choice, admittedly. But,
yeah, I'd say so. It's what it is.
It's not my favorite Christmas song. I mean, it's top 5, but it's not my number 1. So
Is this one of those situations where it's a Christmas song because it was like made on Christmas or something? Or like there's like you can hear a jingle bell faintly in the background, or am I just questioning it too much?
There's going to be plenty of time to correct this later.
Yeah, we have a whole season break to. This is our cliffhanger.
This is our cliffhanger. Is this a real fact or not? Tune in next season, everybody.
Damn, maybe we should have done a real fact.
No, it was a real fact.
No, sorry. Maybe we shouldn't. Wait, maybe we should not have done a real fact. Is what I meant.
Yeah, we should have had a fake fact.
Yeah, for this one. All right. Where can the people find us, Zerb?
The people can find us on Instagram, Sean. You can follow us and send us a direct message if you like. Our handle is Lord of the Wrongs Podcast. You can also send us an email at lordofthewrongspodcast@gmail.com. And
slide into those DMs or those GM mails.
If you're hearing this and you are considering writing in, do it. Really. You'll definitely get a mention in an episode.
Even if you just want to send a winky face or something.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Sounds cute. It's kind of sexy, flirty. I like it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's what we were hoping for.
Yep.
All right. All right. With that, Zerb, how about we say Namarie?
Namarie, friends. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next season.
See you next season.